Hi guys, good morning. So I've been wanting to share this with you guys for a long time, a couple weeks, but it's hard with everybody doing their own errands and then being home and quarantining, and you know what our life is like lately. Don't really see that many people. I shared it with a few people, and the people I want to share it with has been texting me lately and asking, hey, I heard this and that, and I keep saying when I see you guys I'm going to share it, but I don't know when. So before I was like, maybe I'll just do a video and send it to you guys, because I want you guys to hear it. Hopefully we'll get to see each other in person and I'll get to talk and share. But anyway, you guys already heard about a book or a dream, or I'm not really sure, but November 24th, actually, well, the 23rd first, I fell asleep on the couch. I got up, I looked at the watch. It was freezing inside, so I got up, put the heater on. I was like, oh, okay, it's late. And I had like an uneasy feeling, I guess you could call it. That just felt weird. I laid by the heater and I was fighting my sleep. I kept trying to just stay awake. Like every time my eyes would close, I would jump, and I'm like, it's late. Like, why am I fighting my sleep? And I was just praying for my kids, for Jeff, for our home, And I looked at the watch and I was like, it's late. It was 3:04, and something just told me, just go to sleep. So I went to sleep. The next thing I know, this is a dream. It's my mom and dad, my brother and Barbie and the girls, me and Jeff, my kids, and cousin Heidi and Joe. And we're to my mom's place. It was Thanksgiving. So we're all in there, and bear with me, guys, because it's a lot of detail, and I don't want to forget that. And so it's Thanksgiving. We're there. Cousin Heidi's on the chair in the front room. Barbie and cousin Joe's on the couch. All the kids are in the kitchen. My mom's in the kitchen. So I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna walk in the kitchen and I'm gonna make coffee. So I walk back to the table, I sits down, and cousin Joe's coming out of the kitchen, and he's walking towards me and he's laughing, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, what, cuz you want coffee? I was like, okay, I'll make you a cup. So I got up, I went in the kitchen, and in dreams when you can't do something and you're trying so hard to do it. So I'm trying to make this cup of coffee and I can't do it. I'm making a whole cup of coffee grounds and I'm getting frustrated in this dream. I'm like, Ma, why can't I make this coffee, Ma? Why? And I said, I know. I'll get the Keurig and I'll just make one cup. So I went in the living room, I got the box, and in that moment I walks back in the kitchen, and cousin Heidi's crying on this chair. In that minute I knew that cousin Joe really wasn't there. And I walks back in the front. Now all the while I'm trying to make this coffee, cousin Joe's on the couch and he's sleeping. So when I walk back in the front, I ended up outside my mom's backyard, like her French doors. So I walks back in and I'm gonna go sit down by Barbie and Joe, and they're watching a movie, and the movie that they're watching is the story of Joe's life. So I'm sitting down and I'm watching, and we're watching it, and it got over, and I turned to cousin Joe and I was like, what'd you think about that, cuz? And he said, I don't know, I never got to see it. And that minute I knew he wasn't there. And I got up and I went and sat to my mom's table, and I'm sitting there, everybody's still in the same spots, and My mom has a sectional couch, so like the back is here, here's the back, and then her table's over here. So I said, "Cuz, can I ask you a question?" So he hopped over the couch. Now he came to me to the table, and we're sitting on the floor, and I said, "Is it real?" I said, "Is heaven real? Is it all real?" And behind him, his whole body like glowed, like illuminated. It was a really bright light, and he put his two thumbs on my eyes like this, and my eyes closed, and he said, "It is." He said, "All you have to do is believe." And in that moment, the feelings in this dream, I wish you guys could feel them. It was comfort, it was peace, it was warm. And as he's touching my eyes, I'm saying, "I do." And me and him started to float away, going up to heaven. And I remember as we're going up, I'm looking down at my body. My body is laying on my mom's couch, and I was sleeping. And I remember saying, "Okay, like, they'll all just think I'm sleeping while I'm gone." So we went up, and we're in heaven now. And there's these two gigantic trees like by each other, so tall, and they had this same glow, this illuminating glow. And these flowers was like this big around, and they were like alive. The colors, I can't explain. They were just glowing and illuminated. And in the background, all you heard was this music that was constantly playing. Now, from here on until the rest of my dream, where all you wanted to do was just praise. It was comfort, it was joy. So me and Cousin Joe's kind of high, and I'm looking down in between these two trees, and Jesus is running around playing with all these little kids down here. They're eating, they're laughing, they're giggling. And before you know it, Jesus came to us, and me, Cousin Joe, and Jesus went. We like flew to this other part of heaven. But as we're flying over it, Jesus said, "Those are all the babies that went ahead." And they were like little spirits, laughing, giggling, and they was eating. And they were that same illuminating glow, and they were like the shape of a kid, but just like the silhouette, the glowness of them. And as we're flying over these parts, before you know it, this noise came. It was kind of like a it was a weird, like a ching, and like a vehicle came, but it was like to take us to another part of heaven. And me and Cousin Joe, now we're back to my trailer, and we was waiting for Jesus to come take us to this other part of heaven. So we walks in my room, in my trailer, and we walks in my girls' room, and Brenda and Joanne's in there. They're just standing in there. And all the while we're in there now, me and Cousin Joe, we're dancing, we're laughing, and we're praising until Jesus comes back. And the feelings in this dream were so real, and you felt the emotion through every part of this. So I walks over to the window, and I looks out, and it was an overview of heaven from here as far as you could see. And I remember looking down, and all you seen was the sky and like clouds, like cotton candy, like big cotton balls, but they were beaming with light, and that sparkle and that illumination was coming from them. And we like went out the window, and we was walking through them, like flying through the clouds, me and Cousin Joe and Jesus. And that noise came again, that doo-doo-doo, and it was like a ching, and it was like a fat picture, like if you're gonna push forward and like you fast forward yourself. That's how it was. Like we was like like teleporting different places, but you felt it and you seen it go fast. And we was back in the room. And just then that noise came, and when that noise came, you knew it was Jesus calling you. I remember grabbing my phone, looking at my phone. Oh, did I record this? I hope I recorded it right. And there was nothing in my phone. And I remember looking up at Jesus saying, okay, Lord, I get it. And like laughing like it wasn't supposed to be recorded. And playing at my phone, and just then that noise dinged again. And it was him calling us back up. And I remember throwing my phone down. And when I threw my phone down, we went up again. We went up to him. And as we're back in heaven, flying around, Jesus, you know, we're flying, but he's looking at us and talking. And he was so bright and illuminating. You couldn't see his whole face, but yet you kind of seen it. And he was just like, don't you like heaven? Ain't it beautiful? It's beautiful. And before you know it, we're in this place now. It was another part of heaven. It was me and Joe and Jesus walking in front of us, and it looked like a farmer's market. There was tents on both sides, like a marketplace. People on this side and people on this side, and that music is still playing, and it was like a big celebration. There was like the palm leaves going, and like a loud celebration, but you still heard that soft music. And we're walking through, it's Jesus in front of us here, and then me and Joe's back here behind him, and all you seen was his white robe in the back of him, and his hair was so shiny. It was the prettiest, shiniest brown I could ever think of, and I can't even explain it. He was just walking like with his hands down, and we're walking through, and I looked to this side of me, to this table, and it was cousin Jamie, Georgia, and Jamie girl, and they're sitting there, and they're waving, and they're praising, and they're worshiping, and they're all excited. And right next to them there was more people, but when I got up, I couldn't remember who they are. They were Ludad sitting there, but I can't remember who they were. So we're walking, and we're waving back at them and saying hi. So we're walking, and we're following Jesus. We ends out in this place under the stars, worshiping Jesus. Me and Joe and Jesus is there, and we're praising, and we're worshiping. And cousin Joe's gonna turn to me, and he's gonna say, I told you it was real. And Jesus is there, and he's talking with us, but we're not talking. It's like through our minds, and we're just the feeling in this dream was so full of love and peace and content and joy. And he was just saying, ain't it beautiful? Don't you like heaven? Like, look at it. And we're worshiping him under these stars. And cousin Joe's gonna say, now use this for I'm not there for a purpose. Now use it. Use it for a purpose and write a book. And before you know it, I'm back in my trailer, and me and my boys sitting in my laundry room on the floor, and Jeff's gonna walk in, and he's just like, what you's doing? He said, you's eating that food from heaven. And as he's walking in, I'm telling him, I gotta tell you about this dream I had last night about heaven. And I seen cousin Joe, and it was so good to see his face and spend time with him. And as I'm telling him this, John Michael took the food from heaven out of his pocket that all those little kids was eating, and he gave it to Jeff. And as Jeff ate it, Jeff's eyes was full of tears, flooded with tears, and he like slow motion sat down with us in there. And I'm telling him this a little bit about getting into heaven, and he's saying like it's not something, I can't remember the words exactly, but it was something about It's not about, you know, like the things we do, or like the rich man. And I said, no, you're right. You're exactly right. Like it's the thing. It's just believing. It's just believing in Jesus Christ, you know. And as me and him's talking, in the laundry room in my dream, the door was glass. And this car pulled up. So this lady's coming and she's walking and she's gonna knock on the door. So I'm asking Jeff, should I open it? Like the latch, I can't open the latch. And he said, no, it's broke. So we're pointing down like the latch is broke, it's broke, we can't open it. And we looks at the lady and it was Nina. And as soon as I looked at her, I looked back at Jeff and I woke up. And I'm sitting there now thinking, Lord, where am I? Where am I? Like, what was this real? Was I really there? What was this? How long was I gone? And I immediately grabbed the phone, and it was 4:04. It was exactly 1 hour from when he said go to sleep. And I was like, wow, Lord, I was praying, I was crying, I was thanking him, like, wow, Lord, I was like so, there's no words what I felt, but just joy and happy and thankful that what he showed me, that little piece. And then I was so excited, like, oh, I got to see Cousin Joe and I got to spend time with him, and I was like, wow, God, wow. And then I was like, what, man, like food from heaven, like what is that? And he said, that is the true manna from heaven, my truth, and that he's going to use John Michael to bring it to Jeff. And I was like, oh my God, Lord, wow, like, oh my gosh, you're so amazing, you're so faithful. And it was crazy. And I remember I'm sitting there in the dark to the heater, and I remember, Lord, please don't let me forget this. Please don't let me forget these details in this dream and the feelings and everything that you showed me. I grabbed my journal and I wrote everything down as fast as I could, so I wouldn't forget not one detail. And the only thing I can't remember is who else I seen in that dream sitting at that other table. But everything else, it was so real and so vivid, and it's still in my mind, and I'm so thankful for that. So I wrote all this down, and I was just praying and thanking him, like, wow, I can't believe this, Lord, like what you showed me, like what is this? What does this mean? And I'm like, if it is nothing, if it was just that, I'm so thankful, right? Like whatever it is. Trying to analyze every part of that dream and the things that we talked about, and there was so much in the dream that the conversations I can see us, but I can't hear us talking what was going on through all of this. And so the next day I got up and was thinking about it, like, wow, Lord, okay, I'm up, hoping I can read what I wrote. And I wrote it all down in my journal. There was like 4 pages, everything I could remember. And that next day, like I shared it with Jeff. I was telling him, and he was like, wow. And I shared it. June happened to pull in my yard that day, and I was like, Lord, who do I share this? Who do I share this with? I don't want to go ahead of you, just have your way in it. And we're like, she pulled in that day, and she never comes here. And we was just talking, and then I heard him say, okay, share it, and I did. And the things we talked about, that she was my confirmation about the manna and with Jeff and the baby, and he's not done. And she said he showed you a glimpse into heaven, just a little glimpse. And then after that, I was talking with Jeff about it, and he said the same thing, the glimpse. And after that, I was like, okay, like, wow, that was a glimpse what you showed me, little glimpses from like glory to glory, Lord. So I'm in the shower, and I was praying again, like, Lord, whatever it is, here I am. whatever this means, if it's just for me, you know, and just to share, for you to get all the glory through this. And I was like, okay, Cousin Joe, like, write a book. Like, wow, Lord, like, okay, how do I even do that? How, you know, like, I could only write what I seen and what I remembered, and, you know, like, I wrote it and type it and get it together. And he said that the name, it's going to be called Glimpse. And he showed me the cover, and it's what I printed out. It was just like stars in like the northern lights, like the galaxy, like going dark into purple with all the stars. Glimpse, a dream in a dream for 60 minutes. And I was like, wow, Lord, okay. I was like, I don't know what this means, but I'm going to be obedient. I'm going to put it together, and if it, like I said, if that's what it is, then that's what I'm going to do, and have your way with it, you know, if it's just for all of us, for the family. But I'm going to be obedient, and I'm going to write it and share it and tell that story, you know, for your glory. And this is it. See the cover? That's exactly what he showed me. And it was weird because it was a dream in a dream, right? Because when I got back from the last part with Cousin Joe about the book, I was home, and I said, I'm telling Jeff, let me tell you about this dream. And like, then after that, I woke up and I was like, wow, Lord, I'm so thankful. So I put it together, I printed it out, I typed it out, I just put it in this, you know, for now. And I was like, oh, as you reveal more and more to me, then I'm going to write it and I'm going to add it, you know, because I was like, I can't write a whole book, like I can't add to it, you know, there's not that much. But a few people all said the same thing, like, it's not done being revealed, and as he reveals it, that's what you have to write and do. So yeah, you guys could call me, come over, whatever, but been wanting to share this for so long with you guys. And yeah, so when I see you, and we'll talk. And, you know, I love you guys. And in that moment about when he said all you have to do is believe, the feeling in that was like, it's not about what we do here, you know, it's not about even when we mess up, you know, but we're to repent of that. But it's not about none of that. It's just about believing, truly believing with all of our heart that Jesus Christ is Lord, the Son of God, that he died, he arose on the third day, he died for our sins. It's just believe. It's just that faith and believing what we don't see. And that's what it takes. Just believing. Just believing. So I'll see you guys. Bye.